And we're back, maybe? Yeah, it looks like we're back. Okay, well, that's great. It'll probably die again, though. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see. If it dies again, I'll give up for today and we'll do this tomorrow or something, because, like, it's not on my end, it's on YouTube's end as far as I can tell. Anyway, let's see if Dykstra will pass at 3800 now. I mean, I guess I could maybe switch over to Twitch, except I'd need to, like... Actually, no, I've recovered it, so I should be able to get back... Wait, yeah, I should be able to get back to my Twitch account. Come on, Dykstra, don't fail me. And... yeah, it failed. Yep, it failed. Oh, wait, no, it didn't. Oh my god. Man, I was really worried there. Normally, if it takes too long to get through Dykstra, it means it failed. Oh, you need like a 1.95 volts for this, which is way too many volts. Yeah, I guess this kit doesn't scale very well. Or, well, these two sticks don't scale. I kind of need to test every single one of these sticks individually. Because one of my Corsair contacts told me that this kit is probably not binned at all. So there's a pretty good chance all 4 of the sticks are just completely all over the place. But yeah, anyway, so that's almost 9K. Geekbench is weird. Geekbench really likes frequency. So now what we're going to try is, like, I want to see if we can do, like, 4400. Or the, well, no, not even 4400. Like, I want to see if we can, like, how far we can clock this in terms of frequency. And once we're done with this high voltage stuff, I'll get the other 2 sticks and we're going to run quad rank. We're going to loosen out. 18, 18, 18. That should be enough. Back to auto on everything. But we are going to keep gear down mode because gear down mode good. And then we're going to drop down to 1.5. And this is going back to auto. Now, div 1 mode to that. And we're going to go straight to 4000. How do you find a kit's rank before buying it? You just kind of have to remember... well, you just have to know, like, you can tell from the timings if it's a B-die kit, and if it's B-die and it's a certain capacity, it has to be dual rank. Otherwise, you're just kind of screwed. Have you played WoW? Yeah, in, like, middle school to high school, I played WoW. $64 gigs of B-die has to be quad rank. It's physically not possible to have less than quad rank 64 gigs of B-die, unless you're talking about Micron's Rev B memory chips. So 4000 doesn't want to work, which is disappointing to say the least. The thing is, I'm not sure that this board actually plays very well with dual rank sticks in the first place. Like, that's the thing, is, like, the high memory rank counts are kinda a mess, is one way to put it. 0.2. And medium. Oh, wait, no. Well, whatever. Go. Actually, if we're just running Geekbench, I might be able to run higher. So these DIMMs can definitely do 4400. Like, I've done 4400 with them on other boards, but I'm not sure how well, like, this board will play with them. Okay, let's try 4000 again. Actually, I should probably loosen out the timing some more. MSI, I mean, X570 Impact or B550 Unify X. Honestly, Unify X. Actually, wait, I've never used an Impact, so I'm not sure. Though, like, MSI is putting out VTT DDR control for the Unify X, and now my only complaint for the board is that it doesn't go over 2 volts memory voltage, which most people really don't care about. Wait, CPU frequency showing as 4950. It's probably bugged out. Okay, so dual rank B-die on this board is a bad idea. Because it's just F9. Oh well, it should recover. I wouldn't pay too much attention to the clock speed measurements in the BIOS. They're not super reliable. Yeah, I expect quad rank to, like, not go any faster than dual rank, and also clock way worse. Did you see the dynamic? Yes, I saw the dynamic OC switcher for the Dark Hero. Like, it's very specifically for that board as far as I'm aware. Okay, well, this isn't going anywhere. So I guess we're going to go back down to, like, 3600. And I'm going to add the other 2 sticks. And we're going to go through pain and suffering of unimaginable levels. Because it's quad rank time. See, I'm not sure that it's going to perform worse. Like, normally the main problem with quad rank is, like, you technically get more performance per clock. The main downside is you probably can't clock anywhere near as high. And on Ryzen, I think the FCLK would probably be more important than having a million ranks. So, in that case, I would honestly maybe consider, like, if I was going for 64 gigs, Micron Rev B is probably a better idea than trying to go quad rank B die. Go. And we are now quad rank. 3600 works, so that's nice. I think. Right? Like, this is just working at 3600 right now. Yeah, it works at 3600 nice and easy. Well, works. Boots. The first thing I want to see is if we can clock this anywhere reasonable. Let's try 3666. 1833. Okay. Okay, 3733 boots. Which I wasn't actually expecting. Okay, let's try 3800. Moment of truth. Does this run? No. Okay, so you lose. The thing is, like, it's gonna depend on your CPU's memory controller and your motherboard how much clock speed you lose. So, I think maybe with the 3700X I might be able to run 3800. Now the thing is, if you're on a Ryzen 5000 CPU and AMD ever gets the 2000 FCLK working like reliably with the AGSA updates, then it's like, and then you decide to run quad rank on a 5000 series, you're going to be going down not, you're not going to be losing 66 megahertz, you're going to be losing like 166 megahertz, right? Which might be more, actually it's not even 66, you'd be losing 133? Yeah, 133 megahertz, which might be kind of significant at that point. Now let's see if it'll actually just boot to that. Because it might have needed the, like, training. Okay, no. Neat. No, you still have an Infinity Fabric. The Infinity Fabric is what connects the CPU die to the I/O die. We're gonna go 14, 15, 15. Actually, I think we could probably run TRP 13, but we're not gonna go there just yet. 28, 42. 10. Why does... Oh, I don't think it's reading the timings properly. So I think one of the downsides to this is it's going to run kind of warm, because there's 4 DIMMs right next to each other. So probably this is going to be kind of TRFC limited in most normal configurations, due to the heat buildup. Okay, that just works, which doesn't really surprise me. And I'm kind of wondering is if it's possible to run higher frequencies on the microns, because I do plan to switch this over to these 2 kits right here. Right? Like, we're going to do a 128. Though I'm not going to stress test that, because that's going to suck. But I am wondering if, like, the frequency headroom improves at all. Oh, and it just died. Which normally, like, those random just out-of-nowhere black screens a lot of the time are just the Infinity... Well, we're at 1866 right now, so that really shouldn't be an issue. I might be running a little bit too much I/O die voltage, maybe. God, the thing is, I'm not sure how they, like, interact with each other down there. Nah, we're gonna keep that at 1.2. Might have actually been the CPU cores as well. It's been a while since I worked with this chip. Like, there's definitely at least... Like, I'm not sure if the best core on it does 4.45 or 4.35. Okay, that seems to be even more upset than before. So that made it worse. Like, I'm kind of wondering if the VDDG voltage, the overall one, isn't overriding the per die voltages. Like, this one might be overriding everything. No, this is a early 3950X, or, well, relatively early 3950X. Okay, so it was happiest with 1,000, I think. Thanks, Xu Yukon, for the 5 currency. Love the content. I have a 32 gig Hynix CGR DJR kit in my system right now. It comes... Yo, did it crash again? Oh, it crashed again. Lovely. Comes stock at 3600 CL16, but I want to push it. If it's CJR, it should be able, like, even if it's, like, if it's CJR or DJR, it should be able to do 3800. So, B450 on dual rank already kind of complains. I don't really want to, like, I could test one of my, like, the one B450 board I have on quad rank, but I don't think there's much point. It's going to just wall at, like, 3466 or something. This is a daisy chain. The vast majority of new motherboards are daisy chains. Like, I don't think there's a single retail X570 board that's a T topology. Actually, no, that's not entirely true. There's some low-end ASRock boards that come with T topology. But all of the high-end X570s were always daisy chain for retail. So now it's even less stable than before. Maybe it's the timings. Actually, you know what? Let's raise the TRCD. And this. And that. .300 series, yeah, there was a bunch of T topology boards. Probably the best T topology would be the X470 Gaming 7, though. Because that was the last... Like, ASRock technically had T topologies on their Taichi boards, but those boards weren't really that great at memory overclocking at the best of times, whereas the X470 Gaming 7 probably is the best T topology you can get. But I've never run that board, so I'm not 100%, like... it's just like, I suspect it should be, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of suspecting it might be the SCLs at this point. Like, there's just so many ranks. Maybe tightening those up wasn't the best idea. Okay, no, it still doesn't want a Windows. Man, quad rank sucks. I don't know why people keep wanting to run this much RAM. Well, okay, I get it if you have some workstation application where you'd have no choice, but otherwise it's just like, what is wrong with you and your 64 gigs of RAM? Do you hate performance? Do you hate having a fast computer? Buy more memory. Fastest way to make your memory controller cry. I know 2x32 is a thing now. 2x32 might actually be kind of viable. 4x16 is like, I hate my system. And myself. The only thing worse than like 4x16 BDI would be like 4x16 Hynix MFR. 8 gigabit MFR. Though I don't know if that would actually put that much load on the memory controller. But it wouldn't, like, the thing is, at that point it doesn't matter if it puts load on the memory controller. MFR walls at like 3200, so, you know, you're just kind of screwed. Thanks FU Extract for the 10 francs, I think. 10 Swiss francs, I think that's that. Hey, first time catching you and live stream. I learned so much. Keep up the good work. Well, I mean, okay. Stig Eric, how long should I roast my steaks today? What kind of toilet paper do you use? I don't really time, like when I make steaks, I don't time it. I just cut into it to check if it's, like, done yet. Every so often. I'm not gonna answer the rest of that question. Because I don't even really know. I just buy, like, some cheap toilet paper that they have in the store. Okay, and this is what, like, the admission of defeat looks like. We are not going to run good timings. We are going to run the bad timings. Would disabling the LEDs help with heat? It shouldn't really do much. Okay, yeah, so not only are we down on frequency, we are also down on the timings. We can't run proper timings because we have got too many bloody ranks. Oh, yay. Justice for no one. Thanks for the €5. Also, cool name. Love your content. I have Samsung C-Die. I feel very sorry for you. On my HyperX 3200 CL16 and I went to OC and I cannot find any stuff online. I plan to do a video about overclocking C-Die, but for the most part, you basically set 18, 22, 22 and 1.32 volts, and then you do go to 3600 and then you give up because it doesn't go past 3600. Or at least it's impossible to stabilize above 3600. Turn TWR back to 10. I'm pretty sure it is on 10. I think I raised TCWL. And, oh no, Dijkstra passed. I guess it depends, like, Dijkstra takes longer if you have a ton of RAM. Oh wait, we're still max mem. We should disable max mem. Because otherwise this is not a valid test. The performance between dual rank and quad rank is noticeable as between single and dual rank. I don't know, I've not measured it, but from a theoretical, theoretically it shouldn't make as much of a difference. Because there's diminishing returns to adding memory ranks. And this is just straight up slower than the dual rank configuration. I've been considering B550 Master, but your review gave me pause on it. Do you now think more highly of it? I still don't, like... I'll only be running the top end .2, by the way. Why don't you just get a B550 Aorus Pro? Much cheaper. You can go buy yourself a better kit of memory or a better graphics card or a better cooler or, you know, something that actually makes a difference. Because the only thing the Master really does is it gives you a ridiculous VRM that's so completely overkill that it barely even needs a heatsink, which is like, I don't know why. Like, I guess it's kind of cool from a novelty perspective, but it's like, why would you pay for that? Like, you're never going to use the capacity of this VRM, so why are you spending money on it? And then the other thing it gets you is a bunch of M.2 slots connected directly to the CPU, which is kind of rare for B550 motherboards. But, like, to me, both of those are, like, not really useful features under most circumstances. Like, if you don't have a 5950X, it doesn't really matter what VRM you have, or 3950X. Right? Like, I just get the B550 Aorus Pro instead. You still get the same PCB. I should just ask Gigabyte to send over a B550 Aorus Pro so I can test it. Man, I don't want to ask for more motherboards. It's just more work. Oh, wait, we need to kill Maximum. Oh, we'll do this. Do that later. Yeah, I remember I need to kill Maximum. So the X570 Elite, I don't know if they've changed it for the new revisions, but the original X570 Elite was a 4-layer PCB, which is, like, not great. Oh, okay, Ida is very upset. Okay, no, Ida, can we stop? It's not very happy about the memory availability. Wait, no, that's Geekbench. I wanted MS-config. I was wondering why that was taking so long to open. Gonna disable that. Apply. Okay. Restart. Restart anyway. Justin, thanks for the $5. Can you do a 1-to-1 test with dual and quad rank at the same timings and frequency? Like right now, just pop 2 sticks out and run the test again. Yeah, we can do that. I don't think it'll... The thing is, we need to run something that actually cares about ranks. Which, Ryzen is awkward because, like, Linpack runs really badly on it. Is this a version of Core Temp that actually works on Ryzen or not? Apparently it's not. Cool. So we're going to grab hardware info instead. Oh, we had 43.5. Oh, no, I dropped it to 43. Cool. Okay. Oh, no. No. IBT should care. But IBT is, like, kind of outdated, so I don't really want to be using it. Because the thing is, Ida sucks as a memory benchmark. It's really not great. And Geekbench is great for, like, testing your frequency, and that's about it. No, okay, I went to the performance tab. Okay, so we're at 8 gigs. Oh, man. So much RAM. I'm going to blow this up a bit. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is the thing. Linpack runs super slowly on AMD. And I think it's down to, I don't think it uses AVX. Like, AMD supports AVX, but for whatever reason, the libraries that LinPack uses don't want to run AVX because it's, like, technically an Intel stress test. And so it's, like, the support on AMD is a mess. Which is a shame, because it's a really good, like, all-around stress test, in my opinion. But, yeah, it's not doing anything. So I guess we're just going to run IBT. Because, like, IBT is old, but at least it runs. And I do have a version of IBT that's actually LinPack, so... Or, like, IBT is a really old copy of LinPack, and I have a version that uses AVX. Do I not have IBT on the... Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh, wait, I have links. Oh, no, that's... No, that's just me calling it that's just my folder label for LinPack. Okay. This should be the AVX version. I guess we'll find out when it lights the CPU up. Yeah, it says V2, so that should be with AVX. Just gonna go to high. Actually, very high. Yeah, so now the CPU is hitting 70 degrees, which is like, that's what it's supposed to be doing. 80, 82. I regret using crappy thermal paste. Yeah, so this is actually running properly. Though it has actually, I think this thing specifically hates simultaneous multi-threading. Okay, there we go. First loop done. So we're gonna like run a couple loops. I'm gonna write down the gigaflops, and then we're gonna run another couple loops. So 204. And it just crashed. Lovely. So that tells us how stable it is, I guess. Thing is, I don't know if that crashed because of the CPU or because of, like, what. So we're going to underclock the CPU. Might also be a good idea to kill the SMT. That might make it run faster. 204. What TIM did you use? I used the Corsair TM30 because I still have a bunch of tubes of that. Like, it runs noticeably warmer on high heat loads. Which, IBT is very, very, very hot. Like, the thing is, IBT actually slows down if you run it with SMT. And I think LinPack actually does it too. A little bit, or something like that. Like, optimally, you want to run LinPack without SMT. Or with less cores than you... Or with less threads than you have hyperthreads, or something like that. Anyway, so IBT looks like a good option. I wonder if we could use high instead of very high. Because it'll, like, spit out more loops faster, so we can get a performance measurement sooner. Assuming it doesn't die again. It also gets less hot because it builds up heat less. Yeah, but the thing is, if you use a lower memory in LinPack or IBT or any of these stress tests, it actually changes how fast it runs. Because it includes the time spent loading data into the memory as part of the processing time. And on smaller data sets, that actually takes longer than the actual runtime. So when I was running it with, well, I also underclocked it a bit, but right now it's spitting out 196, 195. Like, this is running nice and quick, though, so I like that. Like, it's taking 13 seconds a pass. So for a quick benchmark, I like this. $195 again. I'm kind of happy with just the 3 loops. Like, I think if we're going to see a big difference, it's going to be a big difference. I guess I should also load in a single rank kit at the same settings, just so that we can make sure that IBT actually cares about ranks. Like, it should, in my experience, but, you know, it's good to sanity check. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of, like, undocumented testing I have. I don't think I've, like, documented IBT versus ranks in a video. Just pulling out 2 sticks. Whoa, these are warm. Well, no surprise. 4 sticks right next to each other at 1.5 volts, B-die? Yeah, they're gonna be warm. Like, yeah, this is probably the warmest I've ever had a sticks of B-die get. Because it's just like one hot memory sandwich. So that's the other downside to running 4 memory sticks, is just like, they're gonna run warm. And with B-die, that's a problem. Like, yeah, like this is actually, like this might be like 50, something like that? Just going by feel of the heat spreaders. Which is kind of high. Which, like, we didn't run any workload for that long. Right? It was 2 gigs of lint pack for a couple seconds, and it's like, oh yeah, sticks are hot. I bet if you ran, like, an overnight mem test, they would probably get to, like, 70s or something. At which point they would, like, complain a lot. And I'm in a relatively cool room. So, yeah, the main thing is that really restricts, like, how low you can run TRFC, and even your primary timings. So that's the other reason why I wouldn't run a quad rank B-die kit. It's just like, it runs hot. I don't have a fan on the sticks, but the thing is, like, even if you have a fan on the sticks, with quad rank, like, there's no space between the memory sticks for air to get into. Right? Like, ideally, like, I think for quad rank, you might have one actually be better off with, like, naked memory sticks instead of with heat spreaders, because the heat spreaders are just gonna, like, block off all the airflow between the memory sticks. So that's a 196 again. So that's concern. Well, we need to run a single rank setup. So I need to see if... Did I seriously put away all the B-die sticks? Apparently I did. That's another 196. So far it looks like it makes no difference. If anything, the score seems to be slightly higher. Like, like a gigaflop higher. Yeah, okay, nope, that's just margin of error on there. Because now it spat out a 195. Okay. Yeah, these are cooler now. Like, slightly, but... slightly. The first 2 I pulled were, like, really warm. Okay, so now we're just going to try my Patriot Vipers. And see how those perform. If the performance doesn't go down, then I'm going to be very disappointed because Linpack not a good test. Or more like IBT not a good test. I guess maybe if I set it to use more memory. Well, no, 2 gigs is way beyond the cache of a Ryzen. Like, the thing is, like, testing multiple memory ranks on Intel, super easy, because you just run Linpack, great. Testing it on Ryzen, which everybody's far more interested in, is, like, annoying. I guess we could maybe try 3D Mark TimeSpy. Do I have drivers on this? Ooh, I have NVIDIA control panel. So we could try the TimeSpy CPU test, because that's AVX, and AVX likes ranks. Generally speaking, AVX likes ranks. Where did I put the IBT folder? Oh, down here. Stuart, thanks for the $5. Would you water cool B-die at 1.5 volts to improve the OC headroom? I also have connected 4-stick spreaders blocking my fan. I mean, if you really want to, you can. Like, the thing is, I tried to keep my daily system, like, simple. My personal daily system, mostly because, like, if I want to do intense overclocking, I just do it on all the random junk I have lying around. And so my daily system is kind of like, and even then is like my RX 580 and my daily system is anything but simple. Which is why, like, I need to do something. Like, I really, really need to fix my RX 580. But, well, it's running cooler this time around, which normally indicates that it's running slower. Anyway, okay, so it did slow down, right? We just lost 6 gigaflops. Which is not much, but it is a loss. No, so, the thing, like, if I was going as far as water cooling B-die sticks, what I would also do is I would, like, probably put them on their own separate loop, and then put them on, like, a single rad that's way out in front so that it doesn't get heated by all the other stuff. Because that's the... Like, though, I guess if your water is at, like, 30 degrees, because it depends on how warm your water cooling loop is, right? But if your water loop is at 30 degrees, then your memory sticks are probably going to be at 30 degrees as well. But if your water loop is, like, getting hammered by a GPU and CPU, and the water temperature goes all the way up to, say, 40 degrees, and then you water cool your B-die with that, it's not really going to be doing much more than air cooling, I don't think. Like, the thing is, I unfortunately haven't messed around with that kind of thing too much. But, like, if your goal is minimum temperature, I would say, because the thing is, memory sticks don't make a lot of heat. It's just annoying to get the heat out of them, right? So yeah, I would basically... Like, if I was going as far as water cooling my memory sticks, I would also go as far as just giving them their own loop, so that they can have a little rad that's just way out in front of everything else, so that it doesn't get hot. And also, this... okay, I think IBT is a good enough rank test, because single rank is running 190 with one loop doing 192, and all the other multi-rank configurations were doing 196 or 195, which to me is proof that, like, that's good enough proof for me at least that quad rank kind of sucks. Like, it didn't really do anything for the performance, and it made it way more difficult to run. So I'm pretty happy with those results right there. I guess I should also try some other workloads, though, like maybe, you know, TimeSpy and that kind of thing. But now the thing I'm wondering is, what about the Micron sticks, right? Because with dual rank, you can go up to 3,800, even 4,000 should be possible. Actually, 4000 was possible. It was just kind of fiddly on this board. But, you know, depending on the BIOS version, CPU, blah, 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 this might be better. Single rank is slower than dual rank. Quad rank wasn't faster than dual rank. Dual rank can clock basically, like, dual rank can max out your infinity fabric. Single rank can more than max out your infinity fabric. Like, you can blow it out all the way to 4800, right? I've shown that in the past. Actually, you can go all the way like to 5 gigahertz plus on single rank. Depends on what memory kit you're on. So dual rank still clocks well, but I wonder if there's any configuration of quad rank that doesn't suck at clocks. So that's what we're going to try next. I actually had, like, I did 4260, 4400 dual rank is doable. Oh yeah, it's definitely doable. On Ryzen? I guess it depends on the motherboard and BIOS. And I guess how much time you want to put into it. I guess if I was using the 4750G, it would work. Am I better off buying Team Extreme ARGB 3600 CL14 or FlareX 3200 CL14 for overclocking? Well, the 3600... So the extremes from Team Group, I would expect to probably be better, slightly, in terms of overclocking. Like, the chances that you're going to do 3800 CL14, in my opinion, are going to be higher. But I've not tested, like, a huge amount of the Team Group sticks, so I'm not sure. Whereas, like, for stock performance, the Team Group sticks are just straight up faster. But overclocking wise, like the 32, like bad B die, you're going to be looking at like 3800 CL16, whereas good B die, you're looking at like 3800 CL14, which isn't the biggest deal ever, as far as like performance wise. So I don't know. Honestly, like if you're overclocking and you want performance, I would actually go for like dual rank B die, or dual rank microns. Because that often is, like, the performance sweet spot, as far as I'm concerned. Because dual rank is just so overpowered, right? In terms of performance per clock. That, even if your timings kind of suck, as long as you're at the same frequency, dual rank wins. Okay, so these Vengeance sticks, I really need to test them more. Like, a lot more. Because I need to pull out the Maximus 12 Apex. Or the 4750G. One of the two. The thing is, I've been waiting for MSI to give me the VTT DDR BIOS for the Unify so that we can test these sticks on the Unify, but... And by these sticks, I mean the Vengeance LED sticks. So... These. So I've been waiting for the better BIOS on the Unify, because they obviously have a VTT DDR problem. And currently the Unify doesn't have VTT DDR control, so it's like, yeah, we can't do that. Oh yeah, actually, since I'm streaming, I finally have a G-Skill contact. Does anybody have any suggestions for interesting G-Skill memory kits I should test? I'm starting to realize I have too many memory sticks. Like, it's actually like there's a power supply box that I have literally just loaded with different memory kits, and then I have a so you can buy monsters in like those 4-pack 4-can packs. So I have the box from one of those 4-can monster packs, completely stuffed with crucial memory kits, like completely stuffed. It's like, oh no. This is starting to become a problem. $3,200 CL14s. Yeah, I'm already planning, like, I want to do a 3200 CL14 video. So that's already a kit I wanna ask them for. $4,000 C17. Oh man, yeah, the 1.35 volt 4000 C17. That's always been a bin I've been super interested in, but they've kind of released a bunch of bins that are like even more aggressive now. Right, they have like the 1.5 volt 4000 C16. I have a 16 gig CL16 4000 kits now, I think. Anyway, so that's 2. Add 2 more. Oh, this isn't gonna post because the TRCD is too low. 128 gigabytes versus Ryzen. Here we go. If it does 3800, this is actually not too bad an idea, though. Good luck stabilizing it. I don't really, like... I think I'll do a video just kind of showing, like, oh, this can max out the FCLK. It just probably... I don't know how stable it is. Or if it's even possible to stabilize. Though, assuming we can boot it at higher frequencies than 3800, then it should be possible to stabilize at 3800. This board's DIMM slots have loose clips. Especially the first DIMM slot is really bad about that. Like, the clip doesn't want to click in when you push in a memory stick. Two by 16 4000 CL16 1.4. Somebody wants to see a 4800 CL18. I don't think they're gonna send one of those. I've literally just got a contact, so 4400 CL16. Yeah, those would be interesting. Nah, this is 128 gigs of 3600 CL16. So this is actually good RAM, because Crucial, unfortunately, I don't think they sent me any, like, 3200 CL16. Well, no, I have one kit of 3200 CL16 in 64 gigs of capacity, but yeah, we're not going to run that. Oh, it's going into Windows. G-Skill has 4000 C15 4x8 kits. Man, like, G-Skill has... Is it just me, or does G-Skill have the coolest XMP specs? Like, that's the thing I'm most annoyed about with, like, G-Skill only being available off of Amazon in the UK, is just, like, but G-Skill has the cool XMPs. Like, technically speaking, Crucial should be able to make, like, a... should be able to make, like, a 3800 CL14 XMP, but I don't know why they don't. I guess it's like they don't think it'll make that much of a difference to sales or something. Like, performance-wise, it doesn't actually make that much of a difference. But, especially because it would be, like, 3800 1418 or 1418. Like, they could maybe do a 1417 at 3733. But, you know, it's like, yeah... I guess also there's a side of it, like, don't give people too much choice, because if you give them too much choice, they're just going to sit there going, like, I don't know which XMP to choose. There's so many flavors. Wait, where am I? This is not where I want to be. Okay, those are still disabled. Good. So we do need to run the CPU at the same core clock, otherwise the test... Oh, right, that's not... I can't read. Because otherwise, if I run LinPack, it's not fair. .2. Now, these DIMMs should have much better temperature tolerance than your usual B-die. Oh, wait, I forgot. Ugh. Actually, we're start at 1800 and... Why with O-Seed Infinity Fabric you get a ludicrous amount of W... The event log. Wait, what, me? Or you? Or... Like, that would just mean in the Infinity Fabric is unstable. And that Windows is, like, catching errors from it. Let's try 3600. 3800 CL14. Yeah, I know. The 3800 CL14, in my opinion, isn't that cool. I guess I could try that, though. I kind of, like, I looked around the G-Skill website if they have, like, a crazy DJR bin. I should ask if they have a crazy DJR bin, because I want some DJR to do max memory clock on Intel with. Because you can do some silly things with DJR from what I've seen. It's like, yeah, so I would like some DJR, please. But they're, like, you know what's really stupid is, like, most of the memory vendors have terrible websites. Right? Like, I tried to search G-Skill's site for a bunch of different kits, and it was just like, this is awful. Your website is awful. But I think, and Corsair's website is almost as bad, if not worse. It makes it super, like, some of the bins that they have is, like, they're borderline impossible to find on their sites. Which is just like, why would you do this? Do you not want to sell these? If you can keep B-die cool enough, you can probably daily it all the way up to like 1.7 volts. But good luck keeping it cool enough. I guess if you water cool it. Okay, so these actually do 3800. That's impressive. Now, do they run IBT at 3800? I actually wonder what the performance is going to look like. Like, we're clocked slightly higher, but the timings are, like, all auto, so... So let's see how this behaves. Oh no, that's the wrong size. We want 2 gigs. So previously, the top score was like 196 gigs. At the same CPU clock, so I'm kind of wondering what we're going to get now. Okay. 191. Yeah, so right now it's on auto timings and the performance is junk. Sub timings matter big time. Also, CPU is pulling 220. Just by the way. I wonder how the VRM is on this board. Yeah, and this is why that temperature right there is why I think the Master is totally unnecessary for most people. And you probably can't see anything, so we're going to zoom in a bit on that. See that? It's pulling, you know, like 150 amps peak, and the VRM is at 50 degrees. Also, Linpack performance seems to be going up. So I guess we'll run it for a couple more loops. Real production values here. It's fine. I've seen like StarCraft 2 streamers do this, so it's like that's where I get my inspiration for just fiddling with the like stuff on stream. Is just like, well, I think it's pretty fun. Like, I don't mind it when I see it from other people, so I'll do it too. Okay, so quad rank seems to just be kind of all over the place in terms of performance, and the VRM just doesn't care, which is cool. Like, I really wanted to do a video with this board without the VRM heatsink, but I kind of think, like, I want to also do that video with the Unify, because the Unify's VRM is even more ridiculous than the VRM on this. Turns out the 90 amp smart power stages from International Rectifier are actually better than the 70s, which is not true for a lot of the other vendors. Like, Intersil, their 60s and their 90s are basically the same performance. But then you look at the IR 70s and the 90s, and it's like, oh my god, like the 90s are even more insane than the 70s are. So the data fabric C state seems to really like make restarting a problem. I guess that kind of makes sense. Let's start tightening this up. 14. I wonder if the DIMMs are warm. Yeah, they're pretty warm. These no, we're not going to try 17. I don't think it's going to work. We'll do 14, 14, 10, 7. Actually, I think at this frequency we should be able to run like 66 or something. 4, 4, 16. 5. I think 500 should be fine. Actually, I don't trust it. 4, 8. Ooh, I wonder if we can run the SCLs tight. If we can, that would be insane. Like, that makes a big difference to the performance. TRC Auto actually goes way above TRP plus TRAS. These are Micron Rev B. It's crucial. They don't do Samsung B-Die. SCL2? I don't think that's going to work. Considering SCL5 was, like, required on the B-Die configurations. Actually, I don't think I've run SCL2 on anything above single rank. Like, on single rank it works, and then once you go above that, it doesn't. Nothing will happen to memory chips at voltage 1.7. Depends which memory chips, but B-Die, I would expect it to not care at all. What else is there? So B-Die, I wouldn't expect it to care. Micron Rev E, I don't think would care. Micron Rev B shouldn't care. Samsung E-Die 4 gigabit shouldn't care. There's a lot of chips that won't care. And then there's, you know, then you have your, like, Samsung C-Die, which will probably die at 1.7. Probably pretty quickly. Considering, like, it doesn't even work at 1.6. So you wouldn't want to do that. Like, it doesn't boot, like, it's not stable at 1.6, like, at all. And at 1.7, it might just disassemble itself. And CJR, I think, would probably do the same. DJR, you're probably fine to 1.6. So it really depends on what memory chip you're talking about. Actually, DJR might be fine to above 1.6. There's not much information on it. The thing is, I would still mostly, like, if, like, for my personal system, I daily 1.5 on B-Die. Because it's, like, the higher voltages. Because here's the thing, at 1.5 volts, you can basically minimize everything except, like, TRFC, TCL, and TRCD. And actually, for most chips, TRCD doesn't go down with voltage anyway, so there's no point raising the voltage. So TRCD is just kind of a, like, if you have a Micron memory chip, you're not going below 18 TRCD at X frequency, and you can shove as much voltage into it as you want. It's not going to change. The only exception to that is B-Die. B-Die TRCD scales with voltage. Everywhere else, TRCD doesn't scale with anything at all. Maybe temperature, but not, like, voltage doesn't do anything to it. Any suggestions on Z370 B-Die 4-stick memory timings and frequency? I'd probably be aiming for, like, 36... You can probably do, like, 3600 easy, and depending on the motherboard, 4000 should be possible. With, like, CL16. Maybe CL15. Okay, so the performance in IBT with quad rank is all over the place, but now it's spitting out 195 gigaflops, like on the later loops. Right, the first couple loops are kind of slow, and then the later loops are fast. I'm gonna see if like if there's like a warm-up period or something. We could still tighten the timings a little bit, I think. Also, CPU's hit almost 90 degrees, which is fine. 194, yeah, so there seems to be a bit of a warm-up period. I wonder if I just pull 2 sticks if the performance will improve. There's a chance that like the memory controller is actually having like the rank interleaving isn't perfectly efficient once you go past a certain number of ranks. Also, I should probably play around with the bank group swap settings in the BIOS. Those can have an effect as well. So I'm going to pull 2 sticks. And the mouse decided to stop working. Ah, the Infinity Fabric is a wonderful thing. There we go. Oh man, now these are hot. The sticks are properly warm now. How's this one? Oh, whoa, this one, yeah, ow. Okay, that one's like borderline painful. The middle stick I just pulled, that one's borderline painful to hold. The outer ones aren't as bad. Yeah, the outer ones aren't quite so bad. Which makes sense. Those get more airflow. Those aren't in the middle of the fire sandwich. Have some airflow over them? Doesn't matter, we're just doing some testing. Like, the sticks are fine, my fingers aren't. I'm not worried about the memory sticks here. Not right now. Like, this is just quick tests, right? Like, if I was maybe doing stability testing, then the temperature might become somewhat of a concern. Though, the temperature sensitivity of the memory chips really depends on the memory chips. Like, there's some chips that just do not care. You can have that, like, they'll do the same settings at, like, 90 degrees that they'll do at, like, 30 degrees. And then there's some memory chips where if they get too cold, they actually get unstable. To the point, like, some of them won't even start. Like, if you cool down the system too much, they won't even boot. So, yeah, memory is very weird. Aren't almost all X570s daisy chain? Yes, they are. Yeah, Micron Rev E doesn't... Well, I've heard conflicting reports on how much Micron Rev E cares about temperatures. Like, I tried to overheat some of my Micron Rev E, it really didn't care. But I've heard from other people that it does get temperature sensitive. Also, so actually this is the thing with multiple memory ranks. Like, now the score is slightly lower. It's getting 193, though it might climb back up again. So we'll have to let it run a while. Okay, no, it's just climbing right back up. But the thing is, like, if your timings really suck, theoretically quad rank might actually have might be helpful compared to dual rank at that point. But your timings would have to be really, really bad. Have you had a chance to test the curve optimizer? What's the curve optimizer? Is that a new 5000 series feature? Because I don't have a 5000 series. Okay, no, we seemingly lost about a gigaflop. And the Infinity Fabric has decided that the mouse isn't connected anymore. Okay, we're going to start that over. Linus has the 6900 XT? Because the 6800 and 6800 XT are already out. And I don't have one. Of course I don't have one. Opinions on EVGA Z370 Micro. I really like the Z370 Micro, like from a hardware perspective, but I never got a chance to test one. I'm going to buy 128 gigs and have a 3950X. Would 3200 Crucial CL16 or 3600 CL16 be a better buy? So, if you manually overclock, there's not going to be much of a difference. And actually, even on auto, I don't think, like, depending on your workload, there's not going to be that much of a difference on auto. I don't think there would be much of a difference. The thing is, I don't run, like... Like, it depends on what you're doing, I guess. Oh yeah, Z370 EVGA might have only had, what was it? They might have only have like LLC on-off instead of actual LLC levels. Which actually, it wasn't LLC on-off, it was like, do you want to have a load line or not? Anyway, so this is a little bit slower than the BDI configurations, but it also has worse timings than the BDI configurations. So we're going to put the other two sticks back in, and I want to see what kind of frequencies we can boot. Because 3800 is obviously not fast enough. I'm getting kind of concerned that I'm going to wear out the DIMM slots on my motherboards at this rate. But I probably shouldn't be, because I know there's other people who go through way more memory sticks than I do. Will XMP run on Viper Steel Z390i Gaming Edge AC? It should. Like, that should work. But it might set the system agent voltage, like, way too high. 3866? I'm going to force it into div. Well, actually, we don't have to do that. I'm going to force it. Oh wait, it's still a TRCD 18. Might not have been the best idea. Yeah, I think TRCD 18 is a bit, like, pushing. Oh? I think that's pushing it. Between 16x2 rip jaws and Royal kit, 4266 CL17, would the Royal run worse timings than the rip jaws? I read that RGB PCBs can't do tight timings. That is a myth that is wrong, that RGB PCBs can't do tight timings. And it comes from the fact that Asus, for a very long period of time, couldn't be bothered with optimizing their BIOS for the modern PCB layouts. Did it just switch BIOS versions? Yes, it did. No, RGB PCBs do exactly the same timings and everything. Actually, RGB PCBs are straight up better than the old non-RGB PCB. It's just like Asus didn't have a BIOS that worked with them for like a while. CCD voltage should be lower. Generally, raising the CCD voltage makes stability worse, unless you've got a really weird CPU. I really don't like the Royals. Like, I miss the old DDR3 Trident kits. Those looked cool. I think G-Skill's best heat sinks were on DDR3. Like, I don't mind ridiculous memory heat sinks, but, like, Royals, in my opinion, like, they just look plastic. That's the problem I have with them. They just look like the fake gems they have, it just looks like cheap plastic. And it's just like, well, that's the end of that for me. Like, I'd like Royals better if they didn't have the RGB. That would, in my opinion, make them a lot more appealing. Yeah, we're just going to raise the frequency and nothing else. I'm not going to bother. Like, we're trying to just boot, so I'm not going to bother with anything else. $3,600, 19, 20, 20. Well, I mean, if you're buying 3,600, 19, 20, 20, were you really buying, like, you must know you're not buying a good kit of RAM, right? Like, it's not a speed bin you buy when you want speed. That's a speed bin you buy when you want pretty heat spreaders. Also, 1920 is a really dumb timing set for, like, Ryzen kits. I'm surprised we haven't had, like, a memory stick with, like, a carbon fiber, like, fake carbon fiber heat spreader yet. Like, we had a bunch of motherboards with fake carbon fiber everywhere, right? But no heat spreaders. Okay, so we can get into Windows at 4000. That's impressive. Like, it's not going to be fast at this because FCLK is out of sync, but actually, I wonder if it's not going to be fast. Let's see how bad it is. Oh, and it died. So I'm kind of done with this. I really overestimated how long I would be spending messing around with these memory configurations. Right, like we ran the 4x16 Corsair kits, we ran the 4x32 Crucial. I don't have any other sticks I can run in 4x whatever. Well, I mean, I could technically run 4x16 Rev E, but I don't feel like it. So yeah, quad rank, very overrated. I guess I could try Time Spy in dual rank, quad rank, and single rank. I do still have the B-die kits, so we're going to switch to those. Also, my hands are all sticky. I'm going to wash them. Can you test 4x16 single rank? I can't because I don't have it. I only have 2 single rank 16 sticks. The heating in this flat is terrible. Because, like, the thermometer for it is out in the hallway. But there's, like, so it's either the hallway's warm and this room is cold, or this room is really hot and the hallway is cold. So, that's why my hands are getting all sweaty. So I have to, like, periodically open the door so that the temperatures level out between the 2 rooms. Oh man, now I need to figure out how to turn this into a video. I don't want to do a video. Oh. No, I'm just going to complain about quad rank being garbage until the end of time. Never show any proof. So what should we start with for the... And I'll start with single rank, see how it does in Time Spy, and then we'll... Actually, no. We're going to go with quad rank first, because that's going to set our frequency. GNR making a PC case. When are we going to see Buildzoid RAM? Probably never. Also, this eBay memory kit smells like chips. Or some kind of food. I think it smells like chips. Which is really... I really wonder how that happened. I guess the box lived in the kitchen or something. The sticks don't smell like anything, but the packaging for them does. Actually, I've had a few ideas for what I'd like to see in a case, but then, like, the thing is, cases are such, like I don't know where I'd take it. And I think ultimately it would be a case that, like, unless you were me, you wouldn't get what the hell the point of it is. Like, it would, like, I would probably go with, like, a horizontal motherboard setup. Because here's the thing, is, like, you know, you can have, like, bottom intake on a case, but then you need feet, and then, even then, it's not going to be as efficient, and if you put it on, like, no, horizontal, right? Because if it's horizontal, you can have intake on any side, and it's going to have easy access to air, unless somebody mashes it up against a wall, in which case, I mean, oh well. Like, it would basically be a test bench with an enclosure around it. That's what it would be. But I also like the idea of a horizontal motherboard, because then you can have the power supply in a, like, closer to the 8-pin power connector. Right? Because normally in a regular ATX case, the 8-pin never reaches, in my experience. It never, ever reaches. I've never had a power supply with an 8-pin, you know, CPU power connector long enough to go all the way behind the motherboard and then, like, wrap around at the top. Like, never happened to me. Always need to use an extension cable. So it's like but if you have a horizontal setup, that's not a concern because the power supply can be like right down the center relative to the motherboard, and then the cables reach everywhere. Or actually, you would have the power supply under the CPU area, and then it reaches everywhere just fine because the GPUs are that would reach fine. These are wait, no, I've just switched over to Corsair sticks, so the system specs need to change. Boot, damn it. The other thing is if you have it horizontal, like you can do a lot of stuff for like cooling down the memory sticks and the power and the GPUs. Right? Like I really like the idea of having like a fan right in front of where the GPUs are. Also, I would have no PCIe slot cutouts. Like it would just be a hole where the PCI because a lot of the time, right, you'll have the little PCIe slot covers, and then you take them out, and then there's still like the support structure there. Get rid of all the support structure. Just make it as open as possible, and then just have like a fan that blows in front of the GPU. So all the air like any air building up in front of the GPU just gets constantly replaced. So there's always fresh air in front of it. Or you could maybe do something where you actually use the top panel, because if it's horizontal, you could have top panel exhaust and then side intakes. And then you could maybe keep the support structure in the back, but I don't know. I like windows, right? I like looking at my hardware, so I would actually like the idea of having a top window. So yeah, I would probably just get rid of the PCIe slot support structure and just have a hole there that you could blow air through. Because if it's exhaust, it doesn't need a filter. What did I want to do? Oh, right. We need to load up some kind of memory settings first. Thoughts on Asus actually coming through and making a dark X570 board? Asus should have used the Black Edition brand. Also, I'm not a fan of tempered glass, actually. I prefer acrylic. Like, because acrylic is lighter, it's cheaper, it doesn't shatter. And I get that it scratches up, but couldn't you get, like, a giant phone screen protector for it or something? Like, I'm pretty sure you could have, like, some harder coating for the acrylic that protects the acrylic. And you still don't have the whole glass concerns. Also, if you use acrylic, you can, like, put fan mounts into it and all kinds of things. Actually, that's the thing. Like, yeah, if I wanted top exhaust, you could just have, like, perforations in the acrylic right above the GPU area. Yeah, so the thing is, like, whatever I would come up with, nobody would ever buy it. It would be a borderline, like, it would be barely a case. Alright, I keep forgetting that that's not where the setting is. Oops. I wonder if we can run 1416 maybe. Right? Like, that could work. Actually, wait, no. Wacky B-die things. Does that work? That might actually work. Not gonna touch anything else. For frequency. I want to run the DIMMs a bit cooler. We're going to be testing if Time Spy is a good rank test. So, quad rank in my testing so far doesn't have any advantage over dual rank. Like, it performs exactly the same. Which is actually, like, I was expecting it to maybe be, like, a fraction, like, a margin of error faster, but no, it's exactly the same, as far as I can tell. Now, does 3D Mark work? Because this OS has been through some stuff. Okay. No! I pressed the wrong button! No, there's a performance loss going to quad rank. You can't clock as high. You can't time as low. You can't, like, dual rank, you can max out your memory controller. Quad rank, well, no. With dual rank, I can max out the Infinity Fabric on the CPU. With quad rank, I can't. And I would assume the problem gets worse if you're on a 5000 series because the memory controller didn't change. So all I wanted to run was the CPU test. So that's 15.4K. Quad rank. So now we're gonna shut it down, pull 2 sticks, and see what happens. I'm really glad that the Master, like, MSI motherboards give you a warning whenever you change the memory configuration, which you can technically disable, but it's kind of neat that Gigabyte boards don't do that at all. At the same time, for a more normal user, that's actually a problem. Per core VF curve. That sounds cool, assuming it works properly. What will happen if I mix A0 and A2? You're going to be limited by, like, you're not going to be able to clock as high. I've done it in the past and it's not been really that bad, but, like, I've not done it with, like, a bunch of different boards and a bunch of different CPUs, so I'm really not sure. Like, it's not something I messed around with a ton. So I don't know. It might, like, I might have gotten lucky that it worked. It might be really bad sometimes. CPU test. Thing is, time space is a bit inconsistent, so we'll see. Or at least it's been inconsistent in the past. I want a 6800 XT PCB breakdown. I think that's NDA. And also I've not been sent pictures, so, you know, hard to do that. So, score didn't change, because that's, like, previously we got 15,466, now we get 15,416. That's, as far as I'm concerned, the same damn score. Actually, let's rerun it. Just in case. Now, what would be really funny is if I switch to single rank and it still spits out the same damn score. Because then the test is useless. And I'll just stick to using IBT, I guess. I'm looking to buy 2x16 dual rank kit for Ryzen 5000. Hitting 4000, 2000 would be nice, but I'm fine with 3819. Any recommendations that don't cost a ton? Literally any... Well... Oh, now the score went way down. And this is why you have to run your benchmarks multiple damn times. Okay, well, we'll switch to single rank. Hopefully single rank, like, tanks the score. If it doesn't, then I have a problem. SMT caps on the back of the 6800 XT. No, AMD's always gone, like, above and beyond with their power delivery. Like, NVIDIA GPUs having crap power delivery by, like, from the factory is, like, the norm. Like, consider the fact that 980 Ti's like to blow up their memory VRM inductor. Not the MOSFETs, the freaking inductor. Like, how do you get the size of your inductor wrong? And then, of course, 980 Ti is, like, blowing up their entire V-Core VRM because, of course, they do. It's an NVIDIA reference card. So it's like, expecting high build quality from NVIDIA reference GPUs is like expecting good quality software from AMD. It happens by accident very rarely. Like, just look at the Fury X. The Fury X has more filtering than your average 3080. Actually, that's not entirely true. But, well, in terms of ceramics, I think the Fury X has more ceramic than any 3080. NVIDIA builds GPUs with the intention of them dying right outside of warranty. And NVIDIA builds and AMD builds drivers with the intention of, well, I don't know if there's any intention behind them. Now we get to find out if Time Spy is a useless test or a good test for ranks. I think it's... We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna go with useless. I mean, it kind of shows a difference, but 1499, like 14997 compared to 1546 is not much of a difference. So that's a problem. That's a major, major, major problem. Other options. What else can I run? And then it crashed. Man, the Infinity Fabric stability on this BIOS is absolutely incredible. I need to test a bunch of BIOSes for this board. Like, that's something I should do. Like, I hope with one of the later, like, 5000 series BIOSes it gets better. Or maybe I need to just try an earlier BIOS even. Because, like, F6 on this board is really bad. Like, it has broken CL4. Like, it doesn't do CL14 at 3800 with Micron sticks. I don't know if it does CL14 at 3800 with B-die. I didn't try that, but... Okay, what benchmarks do I have on here? Actually, I have my entire USB stick of benchmarks plugged in, so let's see what that has. What toys could we play with? Benchmarks. This should work. This is a video encoding benchmark. This should be a solid option. Run it at high priority. That should make some of the variance go away. I'm not sure if I want to run 1080p or 4K. Oh wait, it won't let me run unless I... I think it's somewhere in here. Nope, that's just for .NET or something. I don't feel like dealing with this. I'm gonna have to copy the command out of it. No. Hey, I have real bench. I seriously not have anything else. Nope. Okay, well, I like IBT best. I was just kind of hoping that we'd have, like, a benchmark that's, like, relatable or something. Which 3D Mark kinda is. Whereas IBT is just, like, this thing that I use and nobody else does. Right, like, people have heard of Prime 95, but Intel Burn Test is like, oh, that's my thing. And LinPack, I guess. Some of the older 3D Marks are actually, like, pretty good about memory performance. We could try Vantage, maybe. Oh, wait, that doesn't run on 1632 threads, so that's going to be annoyed. Okay, I give up. Screw this. I'm not going to go look for more benchmarks just to prove that there's, like... Like, I guess I could start... Well, I don't feel like doing game benchmarks. That's for other people to do. W Prime. W Prime doesn't care about memory at all, as far as I know. Like, there's records on W Prime that were done with, like, single channel. HCI memtest. Memtest isn't a benchmark. So we can't measure how quickly it runs. Like, there's no way to do that. SuperPi 30... SuperPi on Windows 10 is mega inconsistent. Like, it's awful. I've had it go up and down like 10 seconds. Run to run. So, like, SuperPi would be great if I wasn't using a terrible operating system. You do gaming benchmarks without bars. 7-zip. 7-zip's an interesting suggestion. And that I don't have, but... I use Java. I played Java Edition. Heaven won't measure memory performance. Minesweeper. I'll figure this out off stream. Combustor? No, Combustor's awful. Like, seriously, like, the only thing Combustor is good for is testing your cooling system. Use DRAM calculator and its internal membench. No, I refuse to promote that program. It's terrible. Skydiver, I think, is going to run into the same exact problem that, like, Firestrike or Time Spy is going to run into. Like, I don't think Skydiver is significantly different from the other 3D marks. Well, we can try it, I guess. Like, because it does do, like, different thread counts, whereas a lot of... Like, I think Time Spy is a fixed thread count, and Firestrike is a fixed thread count, whereas this actually goes up and down in thread count. I guess we could also include the combined test, because that's like a GPU workload. I'm gonna try that. The thing is, I'm kind of worried for the combined test that it'll just be mega GPU bottlenecks because we're on a GT 1030. Like, one of the ways I would like to do memory performance testing is to just run like some crazy overpowered GPU setup. But that's hard to do when the fastest GPU I have is a 1080 Ti. Which actually would be pretty overpowered, but I need to go dig one of those up. They're probably, yeah, those are really buried under boxes right now. Hitman is sensitive. Yeah, but I don't have Hitman. IDA64 is a terrible memory benchmark. Battlefield 5 benchmark. Does Battlefield 5 even have a baked-in benchmark? I don't think it does it? Get a warehouse. No, I don't need a warehouse. I just need a bigger, like, place to live. The thing is, I've been searching for a new place to move into, and I've not really been making much progress. FFX IV. I'd have to buy that. Ashes of the Singularity. Ashes of the benchmark. I wish there was some way to benchmark Minecraft, because Java Minecraft, like, hogs RAM, right? Especially modded Minecraft. Actually, I could maybe build something with, like, one of the mod packs I play, and use that. Okay, so we got 40K for CPU, with 13630 combined. That's for SR. Now we're going to switch to dual rank and see if anything happens. If dual rank doesn't improve it, then quad rank isn't going to do anything. Like, my idea for Minecraft is to basically build, like, some giant machine that doesn't do anything, right? That just, like, cranks out block updates like crazy. And, just test, like, how many FPS you get while looking at that machine, while standing in a specific point relative to it. Make a minecart test track, GN. I don't think that's even necessary. Though I guess you could get it to load some chunks doing that. The thing is, if you're loading chunks, then the state of the machine might change. And the machine might, like, break. So That's the most annoying thing. I've built some like really stupid Minecraft machines. Like one of the mod packs I play on has a TNT mod that I can't remember, but anyway, there's a TNT that like shoots up a bunch of TNT into the air. So I've built on multiple occasions a infinite TNT volcano, where it would just. But the problem is, like, as soon as you move far away from it, it stops rendering some of the chunks around the machine. And when it does, like, well, it unloads some of the chunks, and when it does that, and you come back, when the chunks reload, the TNT glitches into the geometry, and so even though the whole thing is like encased in obsidian, if you walk away from it and come back, it blows up. If you stand right next to it the whole time, it doesn't blow up. But if you walk away, it blows up. It's just like, okay, well, this is really dumb. I didn't want to sit through the graphics tests. Then compare read, write, IOPS, and latency. But that's sequential, isn't it? Oh, IOPS and latency. I guess that might be a way of doing it? That's not even good old Java, that's just like Minecraft. Like, I'm pretty sure you could pull off the same problem in the, like, Bedrock edition. Maybe. I don't know, I've never played on Bedrock. Because if you can't mod Minecraft, it's not worth playing. Like, the other thing with Minecraft mod packs is, like, they can chug a lot of, like, they can use up a lot of memory. The main thing is just, like, I need to have a mod pack that doesn't, like, have a memory leak. That's the main concern. I think Bedrock Edition is in C++. Like, it's actually written in a proper language, but as a side effect of that, you can't mod it as much as you can mod Java. No, right now it's in dual rank. We're trying to see if it's any faster than single rank for this test. Oh, okay. Not really. Yeah, no, not really. So previously we were getting 40K 746, and now we're getting 41K 292, which is like, that's less of a difference, I think, than IBT was. Let me just whip out a calculator and check that. What is that? Right. Yeah, so that's like a 1.3% improvement, whereas IBT was going 9. IBT was seeing a 2.6% improvement. IBT is more sensitive. Like 2 times more sensitive based on this. So that's really, really not ideal. Well, I'm all out of ideas. Like, for now. I guess I could try get hardware X265 working. Wait, did I maybe have the idea to include the command somewhere? Oh, no, no. Not in the README. Is it in the changelog? No. I'm just gonna run that. Okay. So I think I need to reload it. And it'll work, hopefully. Unless I have to restart. Like, this is video encoding. This, and it's AVX accelerated video encoding, so it should be pretty sensitive. Wait, okay, no, I have to restart. I don't really use that benchmark very much. Zen 3, I have no idea. You may notice that it says 3950X, which is Zen 2. But with the 3950, and also it depends on what kit of 4x16 you're running. Because technically you can get 4x16 in single rank. You can also get 4x16 in quad rank. Well, you can, no, not single rank. You can get 4x16 in dual rank. You can get 4x16 in quad rank. Oh, that's new. I've not seen that one before. I think we're going to have to run the 4K test. Yeah, that went a bit quick. So this is dual rank. It's doing 112.512. And I'm also going to do the 4K test. Hopefully it doesn't crash. It shouldn't, but not 100% certain. It's background noise. Because, like, I can't stand being in a quiet room, and I also don't want to bother with finding actual free music, so I've made myself a bunch of background noise that I can happily ignore. Anyway, that's 30.447. So now let's try single rank again. Hopefully this gets significantly slower. And it didn't! Okay, so 1080p, unaffected. The thing with Ryzen is also, like, Ryzen's whole ridiculous, you know, memory like L3 cache kind of crushes a lot of memory differences. Right? Like, if we were on Intel, you have much less L3 cache, and so the memory is a bit more important. But here we have piles of L3 cache. So the RAM doesn't matter. Samsung CDI doesn't, basically doesn't work above 1.4 volts. And 4K also doesn't really care. Okay, well, I guess I really do need to find some kind of other workload. I feel like, Minecraft should be a really good option. Because Java is a horrible memory hog. So, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to benchmark Minecraft. And that's it for today's live stream. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Quad rank is stupid. It isn't any faster than dual rank, and it makes your overclocking way, way worse. And like, share, subscribe, I guess. Leave any comments if you somehow find the unlisted version, like the unlisted stream. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stop the stream at this point. Goodbye.